So today, it's really about the tips that you can use in order to add more value to your client throughout the process of either buying or selling homes. And it's tips about what actual consumers out there find valuable in the search of a real estate agent. Whether they know it or not, the general public, the consumers, if you will, when it comes to real estate transactions, have in their minds commoditized real estate agents, because the general understanding of what we do is that really we all do the same thing and all of us are as competent as the next, which at the end of the day really just means that they need to go out and look for the cheapest option because they're all the same anyway, right? It's really not the case. The difference between the industry standard real estate agent, all things being equal, compared to the very best of a real estate agent in the Silicon Valley, for a seller could mean $50,000, $75,000, or $100,000 difference in money in their pocket at the end of the day. And that's huge, right? The same goes for buyers. A buyer that's looking for a piece of property to purchase with the right real estate agent can save $50,000, $75,000, or $100,000. So we're not a commodity. And what I want to do is in this video kind of explain what I think are some of the main things that actually consumers are looking for and will value and will be willing to pay for. Like everybody else, they're looking for the perfect end result. So as a seller, that usually means the most amount of money in their pocket at the end of the transaction. And for a buyer, it's finding that house that they're going to feel comfortable in for years to come for the lowest possible price. That's what they're looking for. So that's your number one thing, and that should be your number one priority. So how throughout that process do we provide value, and what do people find valuable? Number one is certainty. The buyer or the seller that you're working with wants to be absolutely certain that you're the guy or gal that's going to give them that end result or help them achieve that end result. Number two, knowing how much effort they're going to be putting into the process and how much sacrifice they're going to have to make in order to make that number one goal achievable for them. How do you minimize their effort and how do you minimize their sacrifice by taking as much of that onto yourself as possible? That's valuable to a buyer or a seller. And finally, number three is how quickly you can get them from where they are today all the way to the end result that they're looking for. And if you can shorten that process, they will find that valuable and be willing to pay for it. In a nutshell, what someone is looking for when it comes to buying or selling anything, especially a service, they want that end result. They want to know for certain that you're the person that's going to give it to them. They want to know how much effort and how much sacrifice can you take out of the process for them. And then finally, they want to know how quickly you can get them from here to that end result. So certainty, absence of sacrifice, and increase in speed are all things that are valuable to a buyer or a seller. And if you do those things really, really well, you will increase the amount of money that they're willing to pay you for that. And one really cool tip that can really be helpful in the process is think about in a real estate transaction that the moment somebody signs up to work with you is the highest amount of love they're going to have for you. And as the process goes on, it's going to go down. Just like in a new relationship, it's exciting at first, that sort of chemical reaction starts to wear off over time. The same thing happens in a real estate transaction. If you can immediately show them they've made the right decision and give them a win early on in the process, that will continue to keep that love level high. Show them something that proves the concept of your certainty, or show them something that proves that it's going to go faster, or show them something that proves that the effort or the sacrifice on their part is going to be lessened. Try to do it right away because that will reinforce that they made the right decision to work with you.